All right, we're having some giggles over here in Wilmington, North Carolina. Let's get down to some Qigong practice. Checking my camera here. This is like, monkey see, monkey do. See everybody. I just did that and nobody did it with me. But it's actually just checking to make sure my hands are in the camera. All right. Let's rub the hands together. Again, for those of you that are not familiar, if you show up to an Aikido class, you're actually usually on the floor. It's like Zen sitting and stuff. But they typically start a class and they literally clap their hands and then they bow. This kind of clapping clears your energy field. And our working title here for today and also next Thursday is just like clearing the mind. And so whenever you think about clearing the mind, think about clearing your energy field, and your energy fields plural. And so one way, you start rubbing those hands together and then you clap. And you go in the same way that we tap, just call it now in, come up the inside, go down the outside. So whenever your mind is doing anything funky, do everything you can to get your energy moving, because it will change what's going on with your mind. And sometimes it's going to take a lot more work than others. And tap up here now, you will understand more of why that is if you delve deeper into the philosophy and the theories behind what is called enlightenment practice or meditation practice or alchemical practices. Because when you think about things like the purpose of the soul, the purpose of your physical incarnation, those kinds of things, then fingers like tiger claws a little bit and you're tapping on the head. When you think about those kinds of things, then what you're talking about is basically alchemizing things. And if you look at the concept, whether it's the first time you've heard me say this or the fifth or whatever, if you look at the basic concept of what karma means, karma is the idea that there's been an energy put forth into the universe in general by you. And there's going to be opposite and equal reactions from that energy that you've put out into the universe. And your karma, then take that and throw it toward the floor like water on your hands. Your karma is essentially, I like to call it like the boomerang effect. You threw a boomerang, now the boomerang is coming back. And it's either going to come back nice and land in your hand, or it's going to come back, bless you, and hit you in the back of the head. And so it depends on how you practice. And let's go into a gentle drum. Depends how you practice and what you're doing with the work. Because your karma, we call it that, which is related to your emotional body, it goes with you wherever you go. And it's with you all the time. And if you desire to awaken and become like a Buddha, which not everybody does, but if you do, then what that means is you're looking to purify your karma. You're looking to purify your emotional body. Where did you get an emotional body from? This big bag of emotions that you carry around with you called your karma. Where did you get it from, Karen? Your actions. Your actions and your experiences. From where? The past. So technically your karma is your past. So if you don't want to keep living your past, which is your karma, which is your emotional body and your emotional addictions, then you have to do something different so that you can live in the present moment of when? When's Eckhart Tolle say that present moment is? Now. But see, Eckhart Tolle is a really nice teacher. He's a very nice teacher. And he's a Buddhist on the level that he is. I don't know if he calls himself a Buddhist, but the Buddhists are typically very passive. And Eckhart Tolle is Buddhist-esque, even if he's not a Buddhist. Yours truly, myself, I am a Zen Buddhist, even though I'm not technically that either, but I'm more like a Zen Buddhist. The Zen Buddhist is not exactly as passive, and they will chase you out of the temple with a stick. And they might chase you with a spear or a sword. And if you come to cause problems in the temple, they might kick your ass. After that, they may pray for you, meditate for you, and do healing work on you and help you become a Buddha, but they're not going to take your crap. And they're not going to be very nice, like not too nice, where they say things, and this is no judgment to Eckhart Tolle, because I love him. But they're not. What's that? So passive aggression. Well, no, just they're very passive, period. And they stay in, point is, like, in other words, Eckhart Tolle's teaching, read it, study it. What does he say? Carrie, what does he say? Every program that he ever teaches, what does he say? The power is when?
Now.
Now. And then what does he say we should do about it?
Get familiar with the pain in your body.
Get familiar with the pain in your body, and what?
Yourself.
And what? And yourself? What does he say to do? Does anybody know? Shout it out if you know. No, he's not he doesn't exactly say meditate. You go to his programs, people don't meditate, really. What does he say to do? If you've never seen Eckhart Tolle, go look him up on YouTube. He will talk to you about the power of observation. He will talk, which is a meditation on the level that it is, but point is, they'll sit there and they'll talk, and he cracks himself up, which is why I love him. He cracks himself up. He says, if you came here to see something fancy, it's going to be a very boring weekend, because all we're going to do here is sit and we're going to have a conversation about awareness. And we're not going to do anything. We're going to sit here and we're going to dialogue awareness. So you don't have to get up out of your seat. You can eat popcorn or not. And we're going to talk about awareness. That is very Buddhist on the level that it is. A Zen Buddhist is going to say, get up and move your body. The Zen Buddhist is going to say, breathe, perform this action, that action, then go into meditation. So there's an action, and then there's also, even meditation becomes an action because you are purposefully being still, you're purposefully practicing. And this is also very Taoist, because the Taoists will say, for example, train the Qi, train the Qi. Whereas the Buddhists, if you look at that tradition, typically, that tradition is, if you trace it back, they referred to the body as a big skin bag, and they just sat in meditation. They didn't pay attention to what they ate. They didn't really even have necessarily a devout practice of meditation. It was just meditation. You sit and you meditate. And if you do that, even though there wasn't necessarily in some cases, maybe wasn't a deeper practice of meditation, that was their practice. They would sit and do that. And again, I'm generalizing somewhat. This is not to say all Buddhists, etc., but I'm just giving you a little history. You can read about it yourself, check it out, if that makes some sense to you. But anyway, so my work with you is to train the Qi, which is Taoist, and again, to exercise your physical body, your power, your movement, your breath, your sound, everything, which again is more like Zen Buddhist. In the extreme Zen Buddhist, you can look at the Kung Fu monks that break concrete with their heads. That's an extreme Zen Buddhist. So anyway, this gives you a little reference. Let that unwind, and then hold your feet to the floor still. Now, which approach should I do? Should I do Eckhart Tolle's approach? Should I do David Coon's approach? Should I do a Buddhist approach? What approach should I do? Well, the first thing I would say to you is, in this audience, I wouldn't necessarily say it in the corporate audience I was teaching last week, but in this audience, I will say to you, contemplate this. Everybody get ready. I'm actually not asking you to think about this, I'm asking you to contemplate this. Let it sink in, let it go into your subconscious mind, and then later, if you desire, meditate on it. If later you're like, I'm just going to pretend he never said that, that's okay too. Right now, it is highly possible that you are in the middle of 500 years of living and dying, which is technically called rebirthing. Living, dying, rebirthing, right in the middle of 500 years. So if you knew you had 350 plus years left to figure some of this stuff out, what are you going to do today that's going to make a difference in your next lifetime? That's called forward thinking. One of the highest gurus, masters, teachers that I've sat with will say, what are you doing today that's going to make a difference 1,000 years from now? What would 1,000 years of meditation, 1 hour a day, do for a soul? Deep breath in, march your feet out. It's just something to contemplate. A little light, conversation over tea. Big deal. So when you look at people in your life and you're like, my God, man, I'm a little bit on the path, maybe you say, and these people over here, whoever they are, your plate here, get them over it. Whoever these people are, you look at them and go, oh my God, like I'm trying to teach them, I'm trying to help them, and they're never going to get it. Well, think about this. They might be trying to get it for the next 500 years. So forget about them, help them as best you can, but leave them alone because they're in their own journey. Everybody has their own journey. And why? Here's a great question for you guys. Why is it that not everyone is interested in this idea of awakening, waking up, transcending what the Buddhists call the cycles of death and rebirth called samsara? Why is not everybody interested in this? Oh, it's real simple. You haven't suffered quite enough yet. When you suffer just enough, one day you'll go, there's got to be a better way. And there is. It's called awakening. It's called waking up. But in order to wake up, you have to clean, wash, cleanse, purge, purify, and you have to keep doing it over and over and over again ad nauseum. And then you have a breakthrough and you see God, so to speak. You see the light, you see something, you feel, you experience something. And then that something is your motivation to keep going. It's your motivation to keep going. It's not that you've arrived, it's your motivation to keep going. So to certain practitioners, this is just a physical Qigong exercise. But to those of us that meditate and practice alchemy and do healing work and all these kinds of things, this is more than an exercise. This is part of the purging, cleansing, clearing, purifying. And then we go back to our meditation, our seated meditation, our standing meditation. We take it even deeper so we can discover some things. And typically what you discover when you go inside, if you ever go inside to any degree, you're going to find physical pain. And then underneath that physical pain, you'll find emotional pain. And then if you go through the emotional pain, which is very difficult, but if you do, you go into the deeper emotional pain, you go through it, well, then you start to discover the light that's inside of you. And the light inside of you, when you strike the light, it's like striking gold. And when you strike the gold, guess what the gold does? The gold heals that emotional crap. And then guess what you feel? You feel more free. You have a glimpse. And then you think you've arrived, like I did when I was 25 and I healed my spine. I had this amazing catharsis, all this. My heart opens, I heal my spine. I'm like, yes. And I was like, all right, you're just getting started. Get back to work. You got more stuff to heal. So here we are. Keep that plate toward the ceiling, toward the ceiling, toward ceiling to the best of your ability. Keep moving it. Keep the plate toward the ceiling. Toward the ceiling. It's a guy outside who was running a meeting next door that were all in there. And I saw their meeting. It had tables all over it, and it was like donuts everywhere. And he's looking through the window right now, watching us going, man, I wish I was at that meeting. What are they doing? Oh, it looks weird, but cool. I don't know. Like, I'd rather let me try some of that. Yeah, no donuts in here. Although, if we had donuts, we could hold them in our hand. Sure. Just like this. Sure. And move this around and try to not drop the donut. When I did this stuff last week to this group of about 40 people on Wrightsville Beach, got contacted by somebody and they were doing a corporate program. They wanted me to come teach. So I was doing some of this and literally I was like the weird guy. And so guess what? Instead of letting them look at me like a weird guy without calling it out in the open, I was like, that's right. I am the weird guy. And if you want to follow the weird guy to a better place of being in your body and physically moving, I'm here to give you permission to follow the weird guy. And I'll be the weirdest one and I'll stand up here and I'll do it all in front of you. And I'll make the fool of myself. You can hide back there behind somebody else. But I encourage you to try it on for size. And the large majority of everybody there, well, everybody tried it on for size. Some of them tried it on more than others. And anyway, it is weird till it's not. But then again, everything's weird when you think about it. And then if you desire to wrap one of those over your head, swim it over your head, then swim it over your head. Swim it over the head. Maybe keep one out in front. And come back around, swim the other one over the head. Go back the other way, swim it over the head. And keep it out in front. Front. Now in some schools, inhale here. All thought and the practice. You just keep going with physical exercises. In some school of thought, you did some physical exercises. Now, for example, take that into a short meditation. Or in other circumstances or whatever, longer meditation. But right now, I'm going to do a short one. Hold your mind at your feet. Try and let the mind drop down toward the navel center. Then try and make yourself as still as possible for a minute. Inhale. Exhale, step out just a little bit wider. Elevate the arms by the wrists, let the elbows drop. Plug your fingers in together. And freeze for a moment. Inhale, elevate the arms. Exhale your breath. Be sure to place the mind to the feet so that when that wave of energy comes upward, you're staying grounded, connected, rooted to the floor. Inhale, exhale, reach down toward your toes. Slowly, as you desire, come on there. Feet are together, sliding back as if you're on a surfboard or something. Shift your weight forward. Lift your weight back. Let your body make a circular movement. Moving from the pelvis and holding in the lower dantian. When you're ready, shift your feet, go to the other side. Check your balance first, shift forward, shift back. Then start to make a circle or a half circle. Doing your best drunken kung fu impression. One of my students is walk that out on the floor. He's a researcher, PhD physicist. He likes scientific articles and all that kind of good stuff. So he sent me one the other day based on one leg standing and how over whatever the period of time was that they practiced this, it was over a series of weeks. They accumulated enough data to basically suggest that people who can stand on one leg and who practice standing on one leg and have better balance, they live longer. You know, the funny thing is that not a lot of people want to live longer. Most people, by the kind of time they get to be a certain age, some people started at 30, some people started at 60, some people started at 80, and they go, you say to them something about that, and they go, oh my God, I don't want to live too long. The longer you live, this is a philosophy from some of the masters and so on. The longer you live, this was Bodhidharma's teaching to the Buddhist monks. The longer you live, the better of a chance you have to figure out how this enlightenment thing works. The better chance you have of having some say in your next incarnation. Most people don't want to think about their next incarnation. But when you perhaps own the fact that incarnations happen, you might want to get started now before 5 days before you leave the body. I'm just saying. Not for everybody.
Remember this pond, get down here, 3 Mile Hill. Remember, look over the shit, and I'm up on the shit, look for meetings. It's for here, remember. Down there, and we hired a captain. Roll his up.
Get a head rush. Let your hands come up, get a head rush, set your hands down right away. Otherwise, hold them there for just, a second or two. And then, boom, put your mind in your feet. Stay heavy in your feet. Let that just have its way with you. Inhale, exhale. So, when I go teach, let's go in the general. When I go teach at a corporate event like I did on the other day, like I said, I'm not going to be talking about this like during their corporate event. Okay. But you guys have studied with me for a while, and I told you last week, this is not just a Qigong exercise class. Our program, our Qigong awareness keyword, our Qigong awareness program, and all of what I've filmed for all of you, everything from these last 2.5 years worth of classes to the last 14 years of traveling and filming and creating courses and capturing all kinds of footage to help you understand what's actually going on in the middle of your 500 years, so that if you want to have some say about where you're going and where you're headed and what that's all about, that you understand there's a deeper work that other people are involved in around the world, not necessarily as much in the West, but it's a very Eastern training. And some of you have heard this story before. The first word that ever came out of my mouth when I was 7 months old was the word light. If you look at my book, Qigong for Beginners, I'm turning into light all throughout the book. So this is called the practice of enlightenment, and there are people on this path. You will not meet many of them until you start being on the path yourself, then you'll meet more of them. This is something that, for example, if you were to converse with or listen to the Dalai Lama is the reincarnation of the same entity over and over again, and they keep following him. Never looked into that? Go look it up. It may be awakening for you. They literally go around looking for the Dalai Lama. The Dalai Lama says, oh, by the way, I'm going to dye my body 6 days from now, and I'm going to be reborn in such and such a place. Go looking for me. And then literally the monks all go looking for him. The Pancha Lama goes looking for him. They find the boy, and then they go and do a series of tests on him to see if he's actually the Dalai Lama. And there's like 30 tests that he has to pass. And there's one of them that they share with the public, and that is there's something like 20, 30 objects. And out of those objects, they can be bells and all kinds of stuff, and they look very fancy. But only 3 of the objects, the Dalai Lama has to choose. If he's the Dalai Lama, he has to choose those 3 objects out of like 30 objects. That's one of their tests that they share with the public. And anyway, so this is like a thing for them. And let's just say, you can meditate on this or throw it out, say you never heard it. But let's just say that this Caucasian character standing in front of you, who's teaching you this Chinese art of Qigong, who seems a little bit monk-like now and then, etc. Maybe I didn't learn all of these things in this go. Maybe this ancient wisdom that is coming out of my mouth and coming off of what I am and who I am and what I do, maybe it's a lot deeper. Maybe it's coming from my soul, and maybe I'm not who you think I am. Maybe I am, you know. I know Carrie knows. Carrie's known for a while. The secret is out. Yeah. So anyway, take it for what it's worth. I'm not a guru. I'm not looking for a whole bunch of blind followers. Oh, he's a reincarnation of a monk. So what? You're in the reincarnation of something too. It's just about whether or not you're interested in this path called healing, enlightenment, awakening, transcending what we call samsara, and having a shot at actually doing it. It's not about healing or saving the body. It's about keeping the body healthy so that you can actually do the deeper work. That's my teaching to you anyway. You can make it whatever you want. The interesting thing is that the older that I get, so to speak, the less I care about spilling the beans. I have less and less to lose all the time. I don't really care. It's like, you know, when I came out and did what I did last week, and a lot of these corporate people were looking at me like I was crazy. Of course, they wasn't even saying this stuff, but they were looking at me like, what the, I don't care. I'm planting seeds like Johnny Appleseed, and I'm going home. What happens next, that's up to you. If you think I'm a fool and whatever, that's fine. You know, but I saw some people who literally lit up and looked at me like, so if I breathe like that, I can actually reduce my stress. And they were like, I feel that, I feel that. And I was like, excellent. You know, let it unwind. Inhale, exhale. When you move with your hands to go up into this movement, you're attempting, which is hard to explain. It's also hard to totally understand, but use this as a meditative idea. You are attempting to uplift not just your energy, but your own consciousness. So let me give you an idea of what this is about. I want you to take a breath, and I want you to look inside your own body. Eyes open or closed, doesn't matter. But I want you to feel in your body, where is your mind mostly? Are you most focused in your legs? Are you most focused in your dantian? Are you most focused and stuck in your solar plexus? You have a pain in your back? Is your left shoulder bothering you and all your stress is there? Where is your mind in your body? Go find it. Where's your attention? Where's your primary attention? What are you focused on? Another way of saying it is, where in your body do you feel most stuck? Now, let's say, because I feel overall in the group, even though I feel different places that are stuck, feel overall through the solar plexus, stuck down here too and stuff, but let's just say for here, solar plexus. So let's just say, when you go like this with your hands, everybody just do this one time where your leg is, in general, that's all right. But this time, when you get here, and let's say it's the solar plexus that's stuck, or let's say for you, it starts in the hips. Pick that energy up. Pick up the solar plexus energy, bring it to your heart space, walk it through to your throat, bring it up to your third eye, bring it to your crown, see the column of light above your head, and then exhale your breath down through the column of light. Same thing again, don't just lift the hands. Go to the place that's stuck in the center of your body. Try and breathe up and through there in that central column, and then exhale, wash the debris down through that pipe. Inhale, lift, exhale. Then come here, one hand, start bringing the energy from that column of light above you down through your body. Let's say you get to the solar plexus and that feels stuck. Turn the hand down, palm down. And don't just move the hand, move the energy that is in the solar plexus. And then bring the hand. And when you meet resistance, you feel it, you come down and you don't just pass it by. You move slow enough that you start taking it with you. Your hand, if we just take both hands, come down, palms facing you this time. We get the solar plexus, we turn palms and we go down. That in and of itself is going to have an influence on that energy. Well, we can make it even more so. Come down to here and turn the hands. And now feel the energy stay there. Feel the energy around the solar plexus area. And then go only an inch. And then come back up just an inch. Go down 2 inches. Come back up 2 inches. Inhale your breath. Go down 3 inches. Wait. Inhale, come up 3 inches. Go down 4 inches. Come up 4 inches. Go down 4 inches. Go down. I'm going to go down all the way like 8 inches now. We're going to go up 8, down 8. Now, bend over here, inhale, and go. Let it out of there. And when you're ready, do it again. Anytime you bring the arms up, anytime you bring the arms up, anytime you bring the arms up, where's the blood flow? Where does the blood flow? From the hands. Where's the blood flow? Down. Down. Flows down through your arms. Where does that flow to? Legs. It flows to your heart. It'll eventually flow to your legs. But it flows to your heart. So I'm glad some of you said legs, because I tricked you. Because I wanted to help you become awake about the idea that when you elevate the arms, the blood flow goes where? First, or the heart. You're cheating right here. You're using gravity to bring blood to the heart. But what about this as a metaphor? We were talking about symbols earlier in the subconscious mind. As a metaphor, this is telling energy to go up, 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 up. So you have energy going up, you have blood dropping down into the heart. You're changing your biochemistry. Let the arms drop. Be still for a moment. Inhale, exhale. Walk your feet. All right. So brief. I'm gonna get a sip of water. I just need to find my bottle. It's here somewhere. Drop it in. Or maybe I'll bring it. Anyway, sorry. I'm gonna go get some in a minute. I'm gonna get some. Here, Keith, come on right here. Right here. Keith's gonna teach you his favorite exercise. Okay, I'll be right back.
Favorite exercise.
Any one of them, whatever's on your mind, whatever you want to go to.
Go circling hands. So start with the feet together, step back 45 degrees and get into our surfboard here. And we'll start with our back hand, whichever hand is back here, whichever leg is back. Start kind of like we're bringing the teacup up. And slowly bringing forward. So just moving hands to start with. It's like slowly moving hands, circling, like we're tapping shoulders. Slowly moving. You can start to incorporate twisting from the belly as well as we move these hands. And it's like the hands stay in front of you, like in front of the belly as you move. You want to incorporate breath. We're inhaling here. The hand comes up, exhaling as we just settle into that feeling. So again, trying to move just from the waist. Last week, I think it was, David was showing this where I was trying to pull him around and I was moving from hand first. That's the wrong way. So trying to move your center from this point here. Let's do a couple more. Let's switch sides. One more round. As his hand comes forward, let's bring the feet up front. And we'll switch to the other side. Back and forth down. Ground yourself. We'll go with this back hand again first. Start just with the hands first. Not worrying about the waist. Movements in the pelvis. So the slower you go here, the warmer you're going to feel. I am burning up right now. Whenever you're ready, you can incorporate moving the lower down to the end, moving from your center. So not necessarily following my pace, but moving with your own breath and body. Let's do two more. Last one here. The backhand comes up, move your hands, your feet forward. Do the waterfall here, clear it out. So a few of these. As we come down on this waterfall here, let's go to a heart mudra. Hold. Close your eyes, feel comfortable, balanced. Shake that out, stomp feet a little bit.
Excellent job, lady Key. All right,
Thanks,
round of applause. We're excited. We come straight from Wilmington, North Carolina. After Keith's awesome performance, Carrie will be coming up to do the rooster. The rooster?
Oh, you mean this one?
Yeah, I don't know. What's the rooster? This is a chicken. All right, anyway, we're gonna save that for next time, but I gotta find out more details what the rooster's about before I like bring it on camera. But anyway, humor's good. It's also good to stir the pot of your students because then they get emotional and they start to turn red in the face and they even get a little angry at you. And then that becomes very good alchemy for them because they know that really deep down they can trust me because I have a compassionate heart and so on. So that's God falling. Don't worry about it. Just wanted to check and make sure everybody's doing good. All right. So great job, Keith. And we're just going to go into finish up here conversation and our practice for today. It's a little bit on the gentle drum. Just to be clear, over here it's okay. If you listen to like my YouTube videos, like different things, I reference Eckhart Tolle a lot. There's different reasons for that. One is that I almost went on to Oprah Winfrey. They invited me and I ended up turning it down. And I worked to like get invited and then I got invited and I turned it down. Shortly thereafter, Eckhart Tolle went on and it was his destiny to go on there and become, pretty big. And I personally was not ready for any of that. I did not want to become that popular, that well-known or any of that. I thought I did, honestly, but then when it happened, I was like, no, I don't. And so anyway, so I've withdrawn for a while. I teach the way that I teach, so on. And I don't want to be known by everybody at this time. Maybe one day in my life I will be, whatever. So anyway, that's part of it. The other reason is that it's interesting to note, right? Again, let's say we're in the middle of 500 years. Well, then ask yourself a question. Let's just say that Eckhart Tolle and I both would live 500 years. Let's just say, whatever. But what has he done for the last 500 years? What have I done for the last 500 years? Sometimes during certain sequences, seated meditation is going to be your best path. There's a lot of different reasons for that. Maybe you're paralyzed. Other lifetimes, maybe movement Qigong is going to be your best path. Other lifetimes or other experiences, maybe poetry is your best path. Keith is, from what I understand, a pretty darn good musician. So he can really play the guitar, although I haven't heard it yet, but I'm sure I will. So, so people don't just, you're not very good at anything. One of my greatest, simplest ways of explaining or pointing out reincarnation for people who are like, I don't know, and I'm not trying to prove anything. It's interesting. Take a look at these kids who are like 2 years old, who are master musicians. Trust me when I tell you that ain't happening in the brain. It's not happening just in the brain. Something's going on there. Also, interesting, there was a band that I listened to when I was younger, Ozzy Osbourne, right? And he had this musician who became famous and everything, and he died. And this guitarist, Keith may know, Randy Rhoads. So Randy Rhoads was this, I emulated his guitar playing and everything. Anyway, he dies. Literally, as I'm growing up, I don't know how many years later, 15 years later or whatever, this kid goes on to like Ellen DeGeneres or something. He's like 5 years old. He's Asian. The kid, if Randy Rhoads is not easy to play. He was a classical guitarist and a rock and roll artist. I mean, his music was awesome and difficult technique and so on for most people. This kid was 5 years old. He was ripping it off as if, guess what? He was Randy Rhoads. Well, I can't say for sure he's the reincarnation for Randy Rhoads, but I tell you what, Ozzy Osbourne picked him up and took him on tour. And at 7 years old or something, the kid is playing the heck out of the guitar, just like Randy Rhoads. And I can tell you many more stories, but I find that one interesting. Let it unwind. Stay and seeing as Keith's a guitar player and figure out, throw that in. Stay still, hold your feet to the floor. Stabilize, feet lowered on tien, very still. Inhale, exhale. Yeah, there. Barry is going to teach you her infamous technique that she uses to lower blood pressure rather than raise blood pressure. So the rooster raises her blood pressure if I bring it to, up. But now that Carrie's blood pressure is raised, come on out, Carrie, and show everyone how to bring the blood pressure down and go into a Zen moment. We're going to close class with Carrie teaching the waterfall, or sometimes it's called bringing down the heavens.
Collecting energy. Bring it down, mind, heart, down here. Really uptight. Bring your palm down. And put it into the ground.
And then Carrie, if you can, once you finish this part, if you can also just kind of close out our class with any Qigong exercise. It can even be the prayer mover that Keith just did, or any exercise with some type of guided visualization, anything you want, but for forgiveness, because I need forgiveness from Carrie right now. So no, but seriously, compassion or forgiveness, something like this, any exercise that you would give folks now that they're kind of in the zone from the practice that we've done, some type of practice, some type of visual to send us off with, working with some kind of heart energy.
There is a movement that I find very, very heart-centered. Called, I think it's called Coon Paints the Rainbows. Hands from here. One down. Here's the hand that paints the rainbow. Colors, all the colors of the rainbows, raining from the ends of the fingers. Making this huge circle. And it's up. Heart level penetrates. And then this one. Feel the streams of light, all the colors in the rainbow. I'm very bad at talking and looking at things.
No pressure.
Well, laughing, David, tell this is good for your liver, so I'm just laughing at myself.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So now, if you could break this one down for us just briefly, so when they're holding to the lower dantian, and when you go up for the movement of the hand, are we going in a direction like Wei Qi, where we're going to the outside?
Kind, it's sort of, that's a good question.
Just for people who are wondering, is it coming to the inside where we're going more like a waterfall, or is it going to the outside like Wei Qi?
The whole idea is these bands of light and energy encompassing the body and you sending it out in the end.
So when the hand moves up, it goes up
like that, and
it goes to the outside, right?
You collect energy, bring it up and around.
Yes, like a Wei Qi. And then same with the other hand, yeah, if you could show them, yeah, and then she's gonna set the energy down, yeah. And then she's gonna go up with the other hand, out in that direction of like Wei
Hands
Qi.
going out like this to sort of collect, and without any stiff movements, that's the important thing. Out. Huge circle. You're going right round to the back, touching earth, coming out. to the heart level and down.
And then just as a reminder, could you show them Wei Qi? Go right into Wei Qi. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale big.
Inhale.
Exhale.
Exhale.
Inhale big. Let's do a couple more. Big inhale, big exhale. One more big inhale. Exhale. Then let's go back the other way. Waterfall. Inhale. Exhale, little SH sound. Shh. Put it in the ground. Couple more. Go. Last one. Inhale, exhale, and then hold it to the ground. And stay, freeze. Hold 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, exhale. Great job, Carrie. And your applause for Carrie. All right. So, all right. Everybody at home, thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed that. Next week, our last class, at least for now, of 2.5 years. That's next Thursday. Then that following Saturday, 10 to 12, mark it on your calendar. And as a final note for now, based on what I was teaching you here today and talk about Eckhart Tolle and meditation versus Qigong and Qigong plus meditation and so on, my philosophy, if you haven't figured it out already, is that I couldn't heal myself from one angle, but I'm also not a dabbler. I've said that many times. So seated meditation is a big part of what I do. What Eckhart Tolle teaches is a big part of what I do. So I'm not putting it down in any way, shape, or form. Highly recommend reading, by the way, New Earth. Power Now is pretty good, but it's pretty basic. New Earth takes it to another level, a deeper level in my opinion. Anyway, then over here, some type of movement practice, strengthening practice, physical body practice. Then over here, reading and studying things that teach you about forgiveness and compassion and Buddhist teachings. Essentially, there are also Christian teachings if you look into them. Those deeper teachings, when you start putting all of these pieces together, look, you're going to change your life over 10 years or whatever it is. You're going to change your life. And most of you and most people in general, let's just say, you'll be here 10 years from now. And even if you're not here 10 years from now, chances are you've reincarnated. So as the Dalai Lama would say, be nice to everybody because you're about to meet them again. So put these practices together from all of these different angles. This is why I'm always teaching you from this perspective, because this way you can't miss. You shoot the arrow or whatever, you're not going to miss. Put it all together. All right. Thanks, guys. Thank you all. Great job, Mary and Keith.
Thank you, David, Keith,
Bye.
Carrie. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everybody at home.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Good job, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.